words. There we go. Now we're recording. Okay, again.
Sorry, and thank you.
Okay. Do you want me to? I'll go quickly again. I own the Strawberry Swing right here. Co-founder of True Market Collective, co-founder of Craft Show Success. And between all of these, we have about 40,000 followers, and I've built many of my brand and my event strictly using social media. So we got about 40,000 followers, and I basically use social media all day, every day. And one thing that is really important about Instagram and nonprofits is that you can leverage Instagram to share your mission, advocate for support, solicit donations, and show impact using one of the most visceral and powerful mediums out there, which is visual media, aka photos. Instagram is a storytelling gold mine. And you know, that cliche, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I truly believe this. I think, especially in the arts, photos are so important. And so these are a few facts about Instagram and why it is really important. First of all, it's free to use. You do not have to pay to get an Instagram account. That is like incredible. And I took these slides from Hootsuite. Top 10 Instagram stats for 2020. 1 billion people use Instagram every month, and 500 million use it, the stories aspect of it, which I'll go into later, every single day. The gender mix on Instagram is pretty even, 52% female, 48% male. 63% of Instagram users log in at least one time per day, which is awesome. Instagram users will spend an average of 28 minutes per day on the platform in 2020, or if you're me, I probably spend like 2 to 3 hours a day on it. There are 200 million Instagram users that visit at least one business profile daily, and I'll talk about a business profile on Instagram too. Their potential advertising reach, this is on Instagram, 849 million users. I mean, that is incredible. 1/3 of the most viewed stories are from businesses or nonprofits. 75% of the US businesses will use Instagram in 2020. That is like a humongous number, 75% of businesses. So if you're not using it, you should be. Brands post an average of 2.5 stories per week. Myself, I post stories every single day, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. So getting started, if you do not have Instagram already, I'm going to I can't actually show you how to make a profile because I can't log out of mine. That's one problem with Instagram. You can't really start again once you've already done it. You can add more accounts, but I can't actually show you how to do it, but it's really self-explanatory. So if you don't have an account, you totally want to make one. You just go on your phone and get the app for Instagram. And when you start, you want to make sure your profile is a business profile. Now, if you already have Instagram, you can switch it to a business profile. This will allow you to see impressions, engagements, and reach. So that's like free marketing stat. You are going to be able to see, and I'll go into that later as well. I'll show you how to actually do that. The Social Media Examiner has a great post about how to set this up, how to set up a business profile. And you guys will have access to this after, right, Mariah? I think they will have access to my slides after. And so you'll be able to click on this. You guys will be able to do this. And this is like, I could spend a whole presentation just showing you how to set up the Instagram profile. That's why this is going to be really good for you if you don't have one already. And it'll teach you how to do that. And again, it's free. I mean, Instagram is completely free. Of course, when you want to start doing paid ads, it's not going to be free, but it's free to set up, which is so great in this day and age. Not many things are free anymore. So you can also select nonprofit, and it will be displayed on your profile. And I'll show you my profile in a minute. And your description for the bio can only be 150 characters. I'm going to show you my Instagram. I have it on my phone too. If something happens where I can't show you like the true app, because see, actually, I might not even be able to go between apps on a computer. Instagram is made really for phones. All right, I'm gonna show you on my phone. Instagram is really made for phones because it's an app. So I'm showing you right now, I'm logged in as Strawberry Swing. Now I manage a lot of Instagram. So look how easy it is for me. I don't manage the pitch all the time. I know you see that there. I've taken them over before. So anything I've taken over or worked on is on there. It's so easy to toggle between accounts. So now look, I'm at my Truce Market Collective account. So what we were just talking about was, it says nonprofit organization here because when I selected a business profile, I was able to choose which type. And so the thing about Instagram is you can only use 150 characters right here. So right here, and this is called the bio. 150 characters is like nothing. It's so small. It is not a lot of words. As you can see, I probably have about 25 words there. So my words I say are our mission, because you can see I'm a nonprofit organization because I chose that as what I was. So I don't need to restate that I'm a nonprofit. So instead I chose to use my bio to say our mission. And now this isn't my whole mission because it would be too long. It's kind of a mishmash of my mission, vision, and values of Truce Market Collective. But those are way more than 150 characters. They're like 500. So I also used emojis, which if you don't know what an emoji is, it's something that you can use on your keyboard, and that's these little black squares. I just wanted these to stand out kind of and be bulleted. So it says, our mission, enrich creative entrepreneurs, build a bridge between communities through programming and outreach. And I spelled through like that on purpose because I literally didn't have enough characters and I had to say all the things I needed to say. Engage the community, 31st and Truce. I couldn't even write at. There weren't enough characters left. But you get what I'm trying to say, right? People understand that there's not enough characters. So that is your bio. And I'll show you, if you don't know and haven't made an Instagram yet, or you have one, this is where you edit that. So you click edit profile, and here's where it all pops up. So I'm not going to change anything right now, but it's so easy to change if you need to. You can change the links right here where it says website anytime you want. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later down the line because this is a pretty important part of Instagram. But you can also go down here and change your category. So as you see, I'm a nonprofit organization, and so that's great. I have that there. You can put your email, phone, and address. You can have none hidden, profile display, none hidden. I don't know what that is. Action buttons, we don't have an action button right now, but an action button would be something where it says learn more. So I'm gonna get out of that. That was how to edit your profile. And I'm now going to go back to my presentation. I feel sometimes like the Wizard of Oz when I'm doing these because you have to hit so many buttons to get back to where you want to go. Oh, you also want to make sure your profile is public. Because if it's not public, then people can't just see it. They have to ask you if you want to be their friend or follow you or something. So just make sure you have a public profile, and that is something you can do in that edit profile. So once you have your Instagram account, these are some of the tips that I have learned and that I use all the time. You can only have one link in that bio. So where you saw, I was pointing to that earlier, you need to use that link wisely, or you can get a link tree and you can have many different links. Your bio link is where you're going to point people when you post on Instagram. So you have to make sure it's utilized correctly. And you can see here on Truce Market Collective, I just have our website. When I click that, it takes me to our website. And it's exactly what our website looks like. Perfect. So if I ever wanted to say something in these photos below, oops, like, hey, go to our website. Here's, I don't have an example, but I do have one on Strawberry Swing, so I'll go show you. You would say link in profile, because that's the only link you can share on Instagram. That's the one thing about Instagram. You can't just put a link on your photo or in your comment unless you have a ton of followers. Like me, I can do that in some aspects, but Truce Market couldn't do that. So look, with Strawberry Swing, you'll see I've done the same thing here. Art is my, I'm not a nonprofit, so I chose art as my category. My name is Strawberry Swing KC, but I chose to put here Shop Local KC because to me, I want people to realize that Strawberry Swing is about shopping local KC, and I also own that domain. And then here I've explained what it is. A Midwest makers market. I want people to know that it's been around a long time. I want them to know it's in Kansas City. And here is where I use the little emojis because I didn't have enough room. So I put a flower for spring, and that's the date of my spring event, a sunshine for summer, and that is the date of my summer event. Fingers crossed, dear Lord, oh my gosh. And that you can't probably see, but it's a little wind blowing, is my winter holiday event. And I chose to use the rest of the space to link my other endeavors because they're really important to me. So when I say link right here, those are only Instagram links. So when you click Shop Local KC, it just takes you to my Instagram of that. When I click Truce Market, it takes you back to Truce Market. Now, this is where I use Linktree because with Strawberry Swing and with maybe your nonprofit, you may want to use Linktree. A Linktree is an app, a website that allows you to have a tree of links. So I just clicked my link tree on Instagram, and what opened up is this very clear, easy to follow tree, quote unquote, of links. So if I were to say, hey guys, in one of my photos down the line, which I'll show you, we have a new website, Shop Local KC. Click the link in bio to check it out. Then they click my bio link. They'll see top thing is Shop Local KC. When they click that, it just took them straight to my website of Shop Local KC. Now, maybe I want to tell someone to go to my Strawberry Swing website because I have compiled a list of makers who are making masks in Kansas City. Okay, link in profile, click Mask KC. Now it's gone to a totally different website and to a total section on my website called Mask KC. Maybe I want to tell them, oh, become a vendor at my show. Maybe this is a vendor app I want to sample. Click link in bio and then click become a vendor. So now it's on that section of my website. What I found is that in today's day and age, people only want to do one click. It's very hard for people to follow multiple instructions right now. So for instance, this is an Instagram post. This is where you can write, you can write a caption, which is right here. And I'm going to go into these in a minute, but you can't link anything here. You can only tag other businesses that are on Instagram. So you cannot exit Instagram. You cannot get out of the Instagram app, which it's brilliant of them because that's what they want. They want you to stay in their app. You can only link other things and use hashtags, which I'm also going to talk about in a minute. So see how right here I've written, have you heard we are now online? It's so incredible. Blah, 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 link in profile. So that means they have to go like this and just scroll back up to my top and hit that to get to what I'm trying to get them out of Instagram to go look at. It's brilliant. It's hard to have to do that. Not super hard, but like they do have to do two things, but that's how Instagram works. And it's worth it for me because it's completely free and it has a huge reach. So now that you've seen like kind of how it works, that link in your bio is super important because it is the only way to get anyone out of Instagram app. And Linktree, I'm gonna show you what it looks like, its website. When you set up a Linktree, it's super easy. You just go, oh, I can't even find, login would be me because I signed up for one already, and then sign up for free. Linktree is also free, but I pay $6 a month to be able to brand my Linktree, which is funny, but it's all about the branding. I wanted it to have a little bit of my own branding in it, so I pay $6 a month, and to me, that's totally worth it. Okay, so that was my first tip. Make sure that you only have one link in your bio that's very important that will go to your website or use Linktree. Okay, second tip. Once you have all this done and you start posting, you need to use a branded hashtag or other hashtags in your posts. And the researchers kind of all have come together and said to use 5 to 11 hashtags, but not more than 11 and not less than 5. And branded hashtags encourage tagging and sharing on Instagram because like I showed you earlier, Instagram wants to keep you in their own platform instead of exiting. So tagging and sharing is great on Instagram because it will at least get people to come back to you, which then you can lead them out to your website. So tags can be like a slogan or a brief description of what your nonprofit stands for. And also you want to use popular and niche tags. So an example is ArtsKC uses the hashtag Unleash the Arts KC, and they actually ask people to share that. So it's a great way that ArtsKC, I'm going to show you it if I can find one. Actually, so I'll show you how the hashtag works. If you see what I'm doing up at the top, I'll go back because I went kind of quick. Like I use this so often that it's almost like my second hand. I use Instagram so much. So to search something on Instagram, you go down here and hit this little home. That's to get you to your main area. And then right next to it is a little magnifying glass. That gets you to the search. So up there, I'm going to type in Unleash the Arts KC, which is, oops, I spelled it wrong. Unleash the Arts, which is a hashtag ArtsKC uses brilliantly because they encourage other people to put that in their posts. Look, I did it. That's me. That's my flyer from like 2 years ago. And it's one of the top. So the smart thing about ArtsKC using that is that since I also used it, I'm pulling up in there one of the most top means like most likes, most interactions is something that I posted with that hashtag. So not only is my account, the Strawberry Swing, sending people to ArtsKC's just for fun because I wanted to use their tag because we're unleashing the arts. ArtsKC, when you hit their tag, it benefits me because look, I'm the first thing that's there. I honestly didn't even know that. That is really cool. I did not look at this before I did this presentation. This is also mine right there. That's, oh yeah, it is. That's our mural on Truce Market Collective. So, but other people, that's just because of our social media following, we're up high. Other people are using it too. And what the best part about that is it's a way for ArtsKC to have this hashtag on other people's, and then people are going to click that and go back and find out that ArtsKC started that. But it's a way for artists to get noticed when people know that's ArtsKC's hashtag. So those were all that came up in the search. Look how many things there are. And you can search by top or by most recent. And I frequent this a lot, not Unleash Arts, but I will search hashtags for my business. For instance, with Truce Market Collective, I would search Truced, hashtag Truced, or hashtag Made on Truced, or hashtag Made in KC. And I would want to click recent because I want to see what's going on. Who's posting about Truced right now? This person posted about her painting she made, Unleash the Arts. So hashtags are just a great way to get your branding out there even more, because if you don't use it, no one that doesn't follow you already will see it. So those hashtags are an excellent way to get your branding out there. Popular and niche tags are something like, for instance, this photo that just popped up in my thing. I would hope this jeweler used some hashtags like earrings, leather, metal, which is super generic but popular, and then use some niche terms like hashtag leather flower or hashtag bronze jewelry or something that someone might search, because that is going to really put her at the forefront when someone looks for something. For instance, with Truce Market or with your nonprofit, you might want to, like, I'm going to post a hashtag that says equitable development a lot. That one doesn't have any hashtags. I'm not even following my own thing. Sometimes I get really busy and forget to put hashtags on because I'm sharing like 700 photos at once. But you might want it if you're feeding people, or if your art organization helps raise money for artists who are being affected by COVID right now, and you're going to donate money for their meals or for their insurance, something that's like totally not what you normally do, but you have to right now because artists, we can't go to see things live. For instance, I'll use Midwest Music Foundation. They normally raise money for artists and musicians so that they can have insurance, because it's really hard for artists to be insured, right? Well, right now, there's COVID, so artists can't go play live music, and artists can't even make money right now. So Midwest Music Foundation is pivoted and is trying to raise money just to give to artists because they don't have unemployment, they don't have they don't have insurance, and they don't have unemployment. They can't even dip into what many businesses are getting right now. So being able to use a hashtag like COVID-19, which is something that lots of people are clicking on right now, which is popular, that's something that you can do with your nonprofit to get other people to come see your nonprofit that might not have found you otherwise. So that's hashtags. And we'll go back to those too a little bit later when I show you some more examples. Does anyone have any questions? I can't even tell what time it is because Mariah, should I keep going, or are there any questions?
There are no questions.
Catherine. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Holly, 1 second. There's no questions in the chat, but Holly unmuted, and it looks like Luke has a question. We are,
Okay.
Katie, is this halfway through your presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at 4 o'clock. We have plenty of time. Let's keep Q&A to about 5 minutes, and then we'll go through the rest of the presentation. So Holly, go ahead, and then Luke.
I simply have a suggestion, Catherine. When you were showing us your Instagram presentation, your little Instagrams that were on your phone, the second logo that from Truce Market didn't have color in it. It was just black and white compared to all the others that were very colorful. Why is that?
That is just our logo. That's what it looks like. It's black and white. And we have some color variation, but one of the main if you really want to know, the main reason behind our branding is that we're trying to bring East and West, black and white, rich and poor together on Truce. So we figured we should keep that in our color too. And so we have black and white branding on all of our stuff for Truce Market Collective.
Huh, okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you, Holly. Luke has actually put his question in the chat, which is really helpful. So he's asking time-wise. Oh, am I echoing?
Nope.
Sorry. Okay, I just heard myself. So if it's not bothering anybody else, I will continue. Time-wise, how much time should people spend on creating content for stories versus how much time someone should spend creating content for posts? So what's, are you going to get to that in your later presentation?
A minute, yeah. And I will show you how you can use a lot of different content for the same thing, which is really cool. I'll just go back and share my screen and show you that. Let me figure out how to go back to screen share. Here we go. Okay, so one of the things, and are you all able to see the phone? Like, I know it's so small.
It doesn't look like you're, there we go. It popped up.
Are you able to see this? It's too small. I wonder if I should just try and do Instagram up here. Oh, well, I'm just gonna keep it how it is. Okay, so I'll just keep going because I'm gonna talk about stories next, Luke. Don't forget.
I do wanna, hold on 1 second. I wanna give anyone else that has a question, please type it into the chat. And we'll answer it in the Q&A after all of this. But also, this is a moment for people on the phone that are joining on the phone, if anyone is, to unmute and ask those questions. Okay, doesn't look like we have any questions. Katie, please proceed.
Okay, so my third tip is to not forget to use stories. So, I need to move this again. How did I make that little? There we go. If you're looking to boost engagement, look no further than Instagram stories. So capturing the behind the scenes, like a way you can use stories, what I use stories for with my nonprofit and my for-profit is kind of like capturing behind the scenes things, the programming, the volunteers, the events. It is a really awesome way to show things that aren't picture perfect, like the things that you want to put, what Luke was asking is like the things that you want to put on your wall. And I'm going to go back and show you this is, and I'll show you Truce. Oops, I got to go to my phone now. Like the Wizard of Oz again. So the photos you want to put on this, what I call the Instagram wall. These are the photos that are always there unless you delete them. And they need to be beautiful photos that represent your nonprofit. And, you know, they need to be of good quality because this is what people are going to see. This is what is going to be there forever. You know, this is memorializing his moments in time. For instance, I also use a few apps. So like you'll see right here, this is 6 photos that I put in a grid. And I did that because Instagram is very small. You can see these are little. I just wanted you to be able to see our community mural project close up. So you'll see I've kind of mixed in some grids here. But a great way to use stories, you want to spend time on your posts, yes, because they stay there all the time and people will see that. Stories, on the other hand, are what most people are engaging with right now. And the story is up here. And the story is also, well, I'm on my phone. So yeah, I will click up there. These are stories. So I just shared this one. I'm going to put my finger on it and it'll freeze it. But it's normally, if you see this thing going along the top, stories, each piece only lasts 15 seconds. So this is going to vanish. And see, there it goes. Bye. You only have 15 seconds to look at it, unless you put your little finger on it and hold it, which is what I'm doing right now. I utilized this story just now because Father Justin of Reconciliation Services, which is a nonprofit on the street Truce Market is on, shared this. And that beautiful piece of art in that is a mural that I curated as part of our mural project. And so look what I did. I shared Father Justin, which helped him get more, views on his piece. And then I also had something to post about because we don't have anything going on today with Truce Market Collective. So I used a hashtag, as you can see, and I wrote, "Love seeing a piece of our community mural project," and love Thelma's KC. So if someone hit that hashtag, it would go to hopefully our community mural project and other ones. And then also it will help Father Justin because people might click that and then they'll go see Thelma's Kitchen. And then another thing is that you hope then Father Justin shares it. And it's like a little circle of sharing. It's the best thing about Instagram. It's a circle of sharing, which I'm going to talk about that in one of my next points. But I think stories, I aim to have, for instance, I'll show you Strawberry Swing. I'm going to toggle back because I'm more active in Strawberry Swing right now. I have a lot of stories daily on Strawberry Swing to keep engagement up. That's last night. I'm sharing motivational things that people like. I'm sharing other people's posts and then hope that they will share it back and then I'll get new followers. I'm sharing my vendors and it's so easy because they're providing me the content and then I'm able to share it out to more people than they have following them because I have such a large following. It's helping both of us. This is when I actually took a photo of myself and that's that florist we talked about at the beginning, ironically. Then this is all content. So this is appearing in people's feeds and they're seeing Strawberry Swing over and over. So I'm posting about 20 stories a day on Strawberry Swing. And let's see what Reconciliation Services is doing. Whoop, I just went to the New York Times. Or we can go look. I don't know, is ArtsKC posting stories? Let's see. It's just hard right now because yeah, there's not that much going on. So it's so hard for content. But if you are able to find some older content and share it, like for instance, with Truce Market, what I could do is I could go in and see like, hey, remember Truce to Palooza? This is a story highlight, which I'm going to talk about too. It's a lot of info, I know, but right here, these are called highlights, which I'm going to talk about soon. When you post stories and you want to go up and hit what we call the hamburger up here, this is your little hamburger, 3 bars. You can go in to the settings here. Under settings, it says archive. This will have every story you ever posted. So they stay there. They don't go away. So when you want to make a highlight of some past stories, because like I said, the stories go away from the public's view after 15 seconds. I mean, they can go watch it again, but it goes away after 24 hours forever. You don't see it again. 24 hours, it's gone, and it only lasts 15 seconds in the view. They're all saved though here in your archives. So technically, if you don't have any content going on, you could go, remember the time, like here's, I'll just do it. I could take this and then I could share it and say, remember when we could have festivals or something, when we could all be together, when we could all be together, IRL or something like that. I would probably think of something better to say. That was from Truce Fest, and that has the KC library in it. And then I will add, this is something I'm going too fast. Let me slow down. I'm going to add a sticker, which is one of my next points. The data shows when you go up here and click this little smiley face, and then you go right here or click on any of these little things, you get more reach and more interaction. So I'm going to put something here that says miss you, or just maybe miss. Remember when we could all get together IRL? Oops. Sometimes this happens too, where the things get hidden behind. And now that got hidden behind. Instagram's fickle sometimes. That's a way you can share some stuff when you don't have any other content going on. And the cool part about that is with these archives, again, it's up, hit the little hamburgers up in the top there, go to your archive. The coolest part about the archives is you can make story highlights, which is right here. So I have some highlighted stories. This one, I couldn't spell out Truce to Palooza because of the characters. I could only spell Palooza. This is 1 Million Cups presentation. I couldn't spell it all out. Murals. Okay, so those are stories that I went back and hit this. New. Look at this. It makes it so easy for you. You can go in and make a highlight. And so this one I'll call Maker City. Now I'm doing this like really quickly. So I don't know if I have any more Maker City stories on there. I also write for the Kansas City Star and highlight makers who are doing really cool things in Kansas City. Well, I can't find another, so we'll just put that one in there. You can edit your cover, and for now, I'm just gonna go like that because, and I'll call it Maker City. And now I have a highlight on my profile of all my Maker City articles. So watch what happens when you push that. There they are again. Those things that were hidden in your archives that nobody else could see but you are now up front and personal. So I'll go and I'll hit murals. That is a cool video that my friend did, and I wanted it on a highlight reel because look how cool that is. It kind of gives me a seizure right now. But, and then I also wanted to keep our mural project always highlighted because these are just such incredible moments. Yeah, they're also on my wall, but it was so long ago that you had to scroll all the way down to get to that. So stories are really important, and that's a great question, Luke, because with these stories, yeah, this photo may not be the best photo, there's shadows, but look at that. I mean, these stories show joy and happiness, and I mean, these are amazing photos, and we don't want them to just go be in an archive somewhere. These are what make people understand the heart and soul of your nonprofit. And so being able to use stories is just an incredible thing. And now look, up here at the top, you see it's pink. That means there's some stories there. And there's my first story. Now I have another one. And when there's a pink ring around there, that means there's a new story. And down here along the bottom, again, that's the house is to get you back to like the very beginning. If you have a message in Instagram, you're going to see it up there. That's what that 2 is. Those are inbox messages. This little magnifying glass is your search tool. That's where you could search hashtags and stuff. This little button, that's where you actually make a post. So your photos will come up there. There we are. Look, I took a little picture before we started. I could post that right now and say, so excited to teach ArtsKC, blah, blah, blah. Tag ArtsKC, tag you all. And that would be a great way to interact right now and tag ArtsKC. This little heart is showing your activity. So if someone just started following you, right here, you see, these people just started following me. It'll also show your comments in here and some other stuff. And then the last little button at the bottom gets you back to your profile. So I just went over these tips. So don't forget to use your stories. If you're looking to boost engagement, look no further than Instagram stories. People want to do that. Oh, I do want to show you one more thing about engaging on the story. So check this out. I'm going to do another one real quick. And I'm thinking of this. Ooh, thinking of this off the top of my head. So I'm going to go do another one, and I'm going to show you this great. You guys might actually see my kids' friends calling in. Sorry about that. I have more than 100,000 photos in my camera roll. So you all can see photos are very important to me. And so it takes a while for Instagram to recognize my camera roll. It will appear eventually. Eventually. Here it is. So let's say I put this on there. Actually, it's not a good example. I'm going to give an example of something I want people to interact with. I should do this on Strawberry Swing because I don't really have anything for Truce Market here right now. Here, I'll do another thing with Thelma's. And I'll say, have you eaten? This is a way to get interactions, okay? So what I did was I went back up here again. I clicked that little smiley face and check this out. I'm going to do a poll. I clicked poll. Have you eaten at Thelma's? Have you eaten at Thelma's? Okay. And that's kind of not something I should post right now just because of the times we can't really eat at Thelma's. But this is just what we're doing right now. You also want to be cognizant of what's going on. Maybe I could write, have you supported Thelma's lately? Have you eaten at Thelma's? Have you volunteered at Thelma's? Maybe I could put, because Thelma's is feeding people majorly right now, but you can't go sit down and eat there, and they're really concentrating on feeding those less fortunate right now when they're normally opened. Lots of people can sit down and eat and have community, but right now it's pretty hardcore feeding those in need around the area, and you can't even go inside. Everyone's getting the food outside. So anyways, I'm just going to put this anyways for right now. But you want to be cognizant of what's going on, and you don't want to just randomly post something like, hey, are you going to a concert tonight, when nobody can go to concerts? So here's going to my story. Oh, and also you can change these things. Watch, I could type like, of course, and then I could change this one to say yes. So like they can't even click no. That's something that's funny. So then you don't have any negative things. And people are still going to click a button because they love clicking buttons. This is what I've learned, is people love to click buttons and interact. And so we're going to post that. And the coolest part about it is I'm going to click of course. So 100% said of course. Well, it's only me. But as more and more people post, you'll be able to see what they do. And then this will lead me to my next point, which is super cool. Well, this is part of it, actively engaging with other accounts. So putting that on there, I'm going to skip ahead real quick to show you this. So I'll go back to that. Analytics, use them. They come with your account and are free to view. And let me show you something really quickly about that post I just did. When I go in there and look at it, that's that post I just did, right? If you use your little finger and swipe up, you're going to get to a thing that says insights. All I did was swipe up on that story. Now, nobody's seen it yet because I just posted it, but if they had, what I did was I went and I clicked my little finger right here to the eye. It's a little eye. You probably can't see, but it is. You can see that I voted. When people start doing this, you're going to be able to see who interacted with you. It's incredible. This is totally free. This is totally a way for you to build your audience. You'll then be able to go interact with those people and build your brand even more. So for instance, once more people start going there, I'm going to be able to click their profile and then go look at them and follow them and start interacting, which brings me back to here. Actively engaging with other accounts. This is how you get followers and how you get people to really invest in your nonprofit. You not only have to post things, you need to answer people when they comment, and you need to follow other people and comment on other people's stuff like Thelma's. I need to go comment on that account and say, wow, great job, guys. You're doing such a good job for the community. You need to reply when someone comments on your photos or your stories. You just have to interact with your followers because we're human beings and that's what we want. We want interaction. It's a psychological thing. Human beings want to interact with other human beings, not a robot. So you want people to realize there's a person behind this Instagram account. So with the Strawberry Swing, I interact a lot because I'm really promoting it right now because we have a virtual fair coming up. I just posted this 4 hours ago. And so this says, it's not about buying something you can't live without. It's about supporting a business you don't want to live without. So this is like incredibly important right now in this time we're in because I posted, this is why we do what we do. We know it's a privilege to shop local and shop small, but it's so very, very important. They are the heart and soul of our country. They make our homes beautiful and our dreams of entrepreneurs come true when you support them. So it's a privilege right now to be able to shop local because it's more expensive to buy art. It's more expensive to support makers. It's more expensive to buy a mask from a maker than, you know, get a box of 100 for $5. But it's so important. And so I wanted to make that known. And look, the interaction I got, I already have 204 people liking it. I went through and only had seen 2 before I've checked just now. So what I want to do right now is see someone wrote, love this so much, I'm stealing it. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted someone to steal it because now they're sharing it out and it's going to show my brand on it as well as the maker who drew the sign in the first place, which was One Canoe 2, who you always want to tag the artist first. That's something I hope we all know. We all need to give them credit. But now I'm going to go in and click my little finger, click this tiny little the little heart there, and that's me interacting. And by doing that, and look, I'm going to click right here. I'm going to click reply, and I'm going to write, of course it is. Steal it. Of course it is. Oops. And then I'm going to put a heart. And then I'm going to scroll down, and Eden's accessories going to put strawberry. So I'm going to follow back with a strawberry, and then I didn't even have to type anything. This is why I need that pie. Okay, that person is probably talking about buying a local pie from someone that maybe costs more than a Tippins pie would cost. And I'm going to write, yes, you do. And then this person said deep. I don't really know how to reply to that right now off the top of my head, but I will just put that. And actually, I like to make sure I am equitable, even though I personally am a white person. The people reading everything may not be white. So I like to make sure that I am using representation because it matters. And so I always try and use representation in little ways, even if it's just an emoticon, because then people feel heard and seen. So I just showed you how you can interact. This is going to make your post stay up in the Instagram algorithm. And Instagram, since it is free, it's all about algorithms and it looks and sees what people like and it keeps those up top because it's like, oh, that's what the general public like. That's the organic like. I'm going to leave it up top. That's how the free version of Instagram works. Now, if you want to pay for an ad, that's a whole different story. You can do that and buy followers and buy keeping up front, but why not just do what I just did and have other people help you stay up front by sharing and commenting? So that's how you interact. And then these analytics, I'm going to come back to that. That should say 5, but it accidentally says 3, so sorry. They come with your account and are free to view. Allows you to know when your followers are most active and which posts grab most attention. They also allow you to understand the demographics of your followers. So check this out. The analytics are gonna go, you're gonna go up where those little hamburgers are. Again, those little hamburgers right up there. And you're gonna click this, Insights. So when you click on Insights, you can see your posts and how they're doing. So that one that I just posted less than 4 hours ago have been seen by 2,501 people. My kids' friends will not stop calling him. It's not about buying. Oh, that was my post, sorry. 2,500 on that already. And that was 4 hours ago. This one I posted a couple days ago and it had 4,000 eyes on, and that is really great. The coolest part about this is, isn't it? Oh, right up here is activity. If you click that, you can see this. This is not normally something people share, but I'm sharing it with you also. You can see I had 38,000 impressions. The cool part is you can see when people like looked the most at your account and know that you probably posted the most those days. You can see how many people went through and clicked to your website, et cetera, et cetera. And then up here in audience, this is actual demographics, free info that you can just get and use to your advantage. So I have 20,000 followers. Oops, I keep using my computer, but I'm on my phone. You can see that when they are most likely to look at you, or when you posted that was most popular right here, Tuesday, and that was like my most popular post. So I'd have to go see what that was. You can see where they're coming from, Kansas City mostly. You can see their age. You can see if they're men or women and how many and what age of each gender. Okay, I am very much a woman follower. Site on Strawberry Swing, 19% men, 81% women. And then you can see, I don't know, yep, perfect. This is super important. You can see when your followers are most engaged. So on Tuesdays, my followers are most engaged at 9 p.m. Do you see that? And even pretty much all day, I guess you could say. 9 a.m. going up to 9 p.m. So with me, I can pretty much post anytime between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. But if I do post at 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 9 p.m., I'm probably going to get more likes and more followers because that's when they're on there the most. They're not really on there after those hours or before those hours at all. So that's something that you want to make sure you look at and see when your audience is most engaged. Because like I said, if you're using Instagram free, then you're going to want to build those analytics and have Instagram share your post more and share it with its algorithm that it uses. These are just great free devices that you can use when you have the business profile. If you do not have a business profile on Instagram, and it's free to have one, you can't see analytics. That's the like main reason you want the business profile, is so that you can see these analytics. If you're just a regular, like for instance, if you're going to be using your account personally, like this is my private Instagram account. Private. You guys can see it because I just toggled into it. I can't see all those things when I go here. I don't have analytics. It's gone. It's gone. That is not there anymore because I'm not a business profile, so I can't see any of that. I could change this to a business profile if I wanted, but I don't want to because it's just what I share with my family.
Hey, Katie.
Yeah.
We are at 4:30 and I still want to get to some questions. So is there anything that you wanted to add to your presentation? I want to be cognizant of everybody's time.
That's the end.
That's it.
If you want to follow me, when you see the real presentation after this and you want to click along, you can click each one of these. I put a hyperlink in these. They should open to my actual account, so then you can follow me. See?
Awesome. And
Yeah.
just a reminder for everybody on the call, if you do have to hop off, that's okay. We're going to continue the Q&A for as many people as can stay. And all of this is recorded and will be uploaded to artskc.org. And I'll send you all a follow-up email. So if you do have to leave, you'll still be able to go back and listen to the Q&A. So we've had a lot of people ask questions. Some of them you answered after the question was posed.
That was the one thing. I couldn't see them while I was doing it because my screen was like full. So sorry.
That's okay. That's why I'm here.
I can see them.
So I'm just going to go down the line and read out these questions. So
Okay.
Shane wants to know, he says, my Facebook videos are easy from phone to Facebook, but Instagram trims the edges to fit. Is there an easy way to fix that?
So there is an app that I have been told is amazing. I think it's called Jump Rope. Also Hootsuite, which I kind of quoted, is a scheduler, but it may do something with videos. But there is an app that you can get that I have not personally used, but I'm going to try it out soon, that apparently will convert all of your, if you take the video in the app, it will convert it to the different, I don't know what dimensions, is that what it would be, of Instagram stories, Instagram TV, because that's different too, Facebook Live, Facebook cover, like there are all these different dimensions of things, which gets really kind of frustrating. But there is some app, I think I'm gonna Google it. I think it's called Jump Rope, that apparently will help you with that. But I tend to use iMovie a lot with mine. For instance, I used my cell phone to record a bunch of Meet the Makers for Craft Show CEO, and I did it horizontally. But then Instagram TV is vertical. And so I went into iMovie and like figured out how to put panels on the side, and it didn't take very long at all. But it does take a little bit of time if you want to just do it yourself and do it manually. But I know there's an app that has been invented for just this. I saw it in in a group I'm in called Craft Alliance, which is an amazing big group nationally. And I don't think they would have suggested it if it was bad, you know?
And I will, Katie, after this, I will get a list, if you want to send me a list of all of your suggested apps and things that you mentioned that weren't in the presentation slides, and we'll include that on the web page as well.
Yeah.
So we'll continue with the questions. Chelsea wants to know, what apps do you use to create grids like the ones that you were showing us?
Okay, so the app I use to create grids is called, let me find it, Grid Post. So, oh, you can't see my screen anymore. It's just called Grid Post. It's an Instagram app called Grid Post, and you can use it. I will tell you, the only hard thing about Grid Post is that if you get your Instagram without 3 photos across, because you're always going to see 3 photos across, when you don't have that same number, your grid is going to get out of order. For instance, if you don't always have 3 photos above the grid, your grid is going to like fill itself out. Do you know what I'm saying? It's easier to see. Pictures are louder than words, y'all. I can't explain it, what I'm trying to say, but hopefully you know what I'm saying. You kind of have to keep your Instagram with a certain amount of photos at all times if you're going to use grid posts. So, or if you want it to look cool, at least. But for instance, with Shop Local KC, I am not going to use Shop Local KC's Instagram very often because I already manage a strawberry swing. So I used grid post here because I never want to post again, probably on Shop Local KC, at least not right now. So that's a grid post of a view of my website. I just wanted people to be able to get to the website that way. It's basically a placeholder. So that was a way I use grid post there, and I'll never have to worry about it.
Great. And Marissa Stark of the Kansas City Artists Coalition also added in the chat that they use grid post, that she has used it and it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's super.
So Savannah Daniels of the Kansas City Ballet wants to know, do you get more engagement with grid photos versus standard single photos?
No, I get more engagement with the standard single photos. But if I wanted to do those grids, it was just more so for the visual of it, you know, because I wanted to show the depth and like how beautiful it is. It does keep you like in people's minds when it first starts because you're posting a lot of photos in a really short succession, especially if there's 12 because you want 4 up and 4 down. Instagram is all 3 across. So imagine like 12 photos coming, but sometimes people are like, what? Because they don't fit when you don't look at them together. So I make sure, this is something I should show you. I made sure in the caption when I do a grid like that, that I say in each photo that I post over from grid post, I say something like, zoom out, this is a grid. Let's see what I say. I think I say something like, okay, for entire mural view from our profile, 6 photos total. So I like add that at the very end so that people understand. I just copy and paste it. So like the one that I showed you all of Shiloh painting, that grid, it says for entire mural view from our profile, 6 photos total. Inspiration for this artwork deems, and then it has a quote from her. I just copied and pasted that in each one that I pulled over from the grid app, which you'll understand if you start doing the grid app. Just make sure you do that so people realize they need to like click out and look at your profile instead of just a little photo, because one might just be gray, you know?
Great, thank you. I want to add a follow-up question of my own. Can you give some insight on behavior on Instagram and people not just scrolling through their feed, but using not hashtags, but also the explore, also using hashtags to find
Right.
other accounts, and then how important it is the way that your feed, when they go to your profile, the way that it looks, because you were talking about the grid being like a beautiful thing when they go and see your full profile.
It's so, so important because you really don't have much time in social media to grab people. That is one of also the problems of society in 2020, but I'm hoping that this COVID is a renaissance. Well, I've been saying we're gonna have a renaissance for a long time after 2016, if y'all know what I mean. And so I'm hoping now with COVID that, and mixed with what happened in 2016, our president, that we have a renaissance where people like realize that we were all moving too quickly and like things were not happening as they should for a beautiful life and for art, and especially what we all do. So it is though really hard. You have to capture someone's attention and you kind of have to do it quickly, which is why your profile wall, if it's like a ton of random photos, I don't want to like show a bad example. I could probably find a bad example that is someone totally in like another state that nobody would know and show you it, but you want people to understand what you're about. And so you want it to look beautiful, you want it to look clean, and you want to make sure that it is on with your brand, you know. And so with Truth Market Collective, ours is really bright and shows all the people and the human interaction and the programming, because that's all we have right now. You know, that's what we're doing. We're doing programming with people and bringing a community together. So I'm trying to show that, and you want to make sure that it's on brand with your nonprofit, because when people do click over to you, let's say like somebody explored Instagram and was just looking and stories came up, and let's say Jenny, that one I showed you where the girl wrote, she said, oh, I'm stealing this. Let's hope when someone's exploring Instagram and they see her post that she stole from me, or whatever, you know what I mean, shared, that they are like, ooh, I love that quote. I want to click the person who shared that quote. We want to hope when they click that link, because then that'll be going to me, that they're like, ooh, look at this person's profile. I want to learn more about them. They look like they're helping the community, or they look like they have beautiful items for sale. You want to make sure your profile has beautiful photos. Your story can be more of anything, like it doesn't have to be a great photo, or it doesn't have to be colorful, but your profile, you kind of want to like keep it. And you can always post something important. For instance, sometimes I'll do like vendor call for Strawberry Swing or for Truce to Palooza, and it just says that big and it doesn't really fit with my branding, but I keep it up until the vendor call is over and then I just delete it. So it's not permanently in my wall. You can always do things like that. Like for instance, if you wanted to post this and Katie's speaking, but it doesn't look good and you delete it later on, you could do that. Does that
Perfect.
answer?
And I'm going to skip around to another question that's actually related to what you're talking about. Elizabeth wanted to know what apps are good to use with Instagram to have more variety of filters on posts and stories.
Okay, so I actually don't use any other apps. I know other people do, but I'm lucky in that I love photography so much, and I've always been a photographer. So most of the pictures I take are pretty okay to use. And I actually just did a little class on this yesterday. I use my phone for everything, and I can put a link to the blog post about this, but um, you can edit any photo on your phone super easily, or edit ones you are getting from other people. For instance, if someone tags you, like, see how I just shared Thelma's? Remember when I shared reconciliation services photo? I could screenshot, I would probably ask him, but he wouldn't care. He's my friend. If I could share it first, I would ask someone if they did a photo of like ArtsKC, maybe ArtsKC wants to use one of those Unleash Your Arts. You should ask them first and say, hey, can I use this? And I might edit a little bit. And then you can edit it, change the color on your own with the Instagram filters or in your phone. I don't actually pull anything else in. I tend to just use what I'm given. But I know other people do use stuff. I just never have personally. So I don't really have an answer to that.
That's very good to know. And some of these questions are giving me great ideas on classes that we can do in the coming weeks about photo editing, video editing, different tools to use.
Yeah, I
So
can
Donnie
whole
Rogers
class
is
on photos, babe. I can teach a whole class on it. I love photos.
So Donnie Rogers is asking a question. He wants to know if you have thoughts on the new support small business option on Instagram
Yeah,
stories. And he
so
says
awesome.
he's seeing a huge increase on reach with some of the stories that they're using it on, but not all of them.
Oh, really? Okay, well, for me, the way I'm using that, and I'm going to share the screen real quick just so you guys can see what we're talking about, you people. You wonderful people. Can you see my screen? So the
Yes.
shop local, what he's talking about is literally all I do with Strawberry Swing is I've been screaming to shop local from the mountaintop since 2011. I mean, I've literally been like shouting it with a megaphone, shop local. So I am so excited that COVID has now got a lot of people on board with that. I mean, seriously, that so much so that Amazon has like a shop local makers as their cover now, which I have been saying stop using Amazon and shop local makers, and now Amazon has put local makers on Amazon. And this is what he's talking about. So with Instagram, when you go to do a photo right now, okay, I'm gonna hold my finger on it so it doesn't disappear. Instagram has started the shop local thing themselves. It is in the past, I had to do this. I'll show you. Um, oh, I used it there too. Boom, 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 boom. I don't even see when I didn't use it, but you had to tag the people yourself, and it didn't look pretty like that. It kind of looked like that, kind of. It just was like an at them. But now Instagram has made it super easy to see that person's site. And when you click that, so you still see the at, but now you know that you can shop local on them. And look what happened when I clicked it. I could either buy gift cards right away. So this is that like one click thing. Visit the profile or follow. I'm assuming the next one says follow, but since I already followed her, it said following. Um, I think that it's working great, but I haven't asked anyone if they've actually gotten sales from it. I just think it works great because it actually shows you that this person's more products. It's like Instagram is getting really smart and understanding like it's hard to get. You see how we're underneath her brand, there's 3 photos from her Instagram. That's really smart of Instagram. They're helping us understand that this person sells. And so they're pulling the last 3 pictures from their Instagram under that. And when you click it, you have these different options. They're keeping you on Instagram though still. But it's okay. It works. I think it works, but I don't sell anything. So I don't know if they've actually sold. Now I can ask them that, but oh, and I could swipe up and see if people clicked, I guess. Let's see. Okay, so this was seen by 1,627 people. 8 actions were taken from it. So I can, and I literally just posted this like 3 hours ago. So 8 people went to that one at least. And I'm assuming that it will also be like everything on Instagram where if people like your content, then they're going to click it. Like how many people, nobody swiped up on that one apparently for some reason. Let's see if anyone swiped up on that one. And sometimes these actions, they take a while to load in there. But it looks like the one that was really bright, people did. And that's another thing about Instagram. When things are really bright and on white backgrounds, everybody likes that a lot better. But that's just for selling art. That's different. A nonprofit, that's not the same as selling art, you know. With our nonprofits, we don't care about selling like we would if we were a maker.
Except
Hopefully
for
that
tickets.
is.
We do want to sell
Well,
tickets to
yes.
things.
Yes.
Yeah,
You wanna-
which, you know, is the difficulty right now. So everyone's either focusing on virtual programming, which almost everyone is still trying to get that under their belt because we weren't prepared as arts organizations to have high quality video productions of, you know, theater productions or those kinds of things. Yeah, so we do want to, you know, sell tickets, but I think I had talked to you about this yesterday, that a lot of the approach in selling products can be used in the same way to sell tickets to a virtual event, or to any kind of, you know, in-person event when we get to that point.
Yeah, for sure, which I hope is soon. Oh my goodness.
So I think I will say that Stacy Bush asked a question about is it true that the more active you are in liking, commenting, and sharing on other pages, the more you'll show up in people's feeds? And you did answer that during your presentation, talking about algorithms and engagement metrics. Yeah. So then Mariah Thompson wants to know, hey, person with the same name as me. Mariah Thompson wants to know, do you use a social scheduling tool? And if so, what are the options for scheduling Instagram stories or posts with multiple pictures?
I do not use one of those because I really want to be organic. I have heard they're incredible and that they might save me a little bit of time and stress in my life, but I really, I'm kind of myself personally with Strawberry Swing, I wouldn't say like an influencer, but it's my brand is also me. So like I want to make sure I'm like talking and doing live stories of myself talking too, as well as sharing everybody else's stuff. And so I just have to make sure that, you know, there's so much going on right now. For instance, what if I said, hey, what if I scheduled a post that said, hey, click here to buy local masks from makers, ArtsKC, but like 2 hours before that, what if I'd scheduled that for 3 days ago, but then 2 hours before that, the government determines that the masks are, I'm totally making this up, okay, that the masks are what are spreading COVID and that we shouldn't wear them anymore. But I had pre-scheduled that and then I look like I'm just going against what everyone else is doing. That could be like a backfire. You know what I mean? So sensitive stuff, like I just don't schedule because I'm so afraid of something like that happening. And I want to be really, really on top of things and seem like I'm a real person, you know, but that's not for everybody. I know that. So I don't use a scheduler, but I've heard Hootsuite is awesome. One thing I do is I allow my Instagram to copy to my Facebook. So that's a way that I save some time. I allow my Instagram to be shared to Facebook, which is just in the settings of Instagram. You can do that. And you can also share it to Twitter. I do that as well. Those are the only ones I use, though. I don't use any other social platforms.
Great, thank you. I actually have some experience with scheduling with Instagram, and it used to be that most of the apps that you would have, you could schedule, but it wouldn't actually automatically post. It would send you a reminder on your phone that you would then like, oh yeah, I do need to open Instagram, and it would pull it up for you with, you know, all your comments and your tags and whatever you wanted to do, and you just have to click the button, which right now might be a good solution. So I'll go back and make like a short list of scheduling tools that I have used and colleagues of mine have used for everybody to look into. Okay. I am looking, oh, one more question. Oh my goodness. Okay, Mariah Thompson says she uses Sprout Social and she loves it.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, I
I
used to, so in my previous job, we used Sprout Social. I worked at Junior Achievement of Greater Kansas City, and they actually used Sprout for the entire Junior Achievement National. So every individual Junior Achievement chapter was
wow.
connected to Sprout Social so that the branding of JA went across all of the individual chapters, which was cool. But,
I
and
do
then,
see posts on Facebook sometimes if it's things like, hey, don't forget to follow us on Instagram or don't forget to follow us on Pinterest. So it's something like not relating to anything else, but that could never go wrong. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's one thing I do schedule on Facebook is generic things like that, just to keep some content going.
right. And that's pretty much what JA was doing. We did all of
Right.
our local content organically.
Cool.
But Sprout Social was for those kind of, like main branded photos and that kind of thing.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to save this chat. I'm not going to read out everyone's responses. This is really helpful. So if you're not paying attention to the chat right now, go over there. I'm going to leave this open after we end the meeting because everyone's using or everyone's commenting back what they use. So answering each other's questions. So that's really, I'll go through here really quickly. There's Savannah Daniels uses Creator Studio on Facebook to schedule Instagram and Facebook. KCAC uses Later app. Mariah Thompson uses Sprout Social. Brandon Harrelson of ArtsKC uses Hootsuite for posting multiple pictures, but you can't do that on Agorapulse. I'm going back up to make sure we did not miss any questions. Okay, one question. Is a professional account the same as a business account on Instagram?
I don't know. I would assume so. Where did I put my phone?
I am also unfamiliar with that.
I think it's the
So
same. If you're
what we
professional,
could do, Katie, is look into that and then send any information in the follow-up
wouldn't I think a
email.
professional account means like you're like an actor or an actress or something. Maybe not.
Right. I think a professional account is the one with the blue check marks. Am I right?
Well, that's how you get verified. Maybe
that's
it
just
is a professional. A business account is now called a professional account. Like if you're already set up as a personal, maybe you have to hit professional. I know to get those blue things, the blue little like when you're a celebrity or whatever, you just have
right.
to verify your Instagram profile because I've been trying to get one of those for Strawberry Swing just to look cool. And they like all you have to do is like show that you really are a business and that you're them and upload something and they just like never reply. Never.
You're not famous enough.
Not famous. You're not supposed to have to be famous. You're just supposed to be verified so people know that it's really you. And like, because people start making other profile, not of Strawberry Swing, but they could. You never know.
Right.
I mean, people do some crazy wild things.
Well, this class has gone longer than any of the others, which is awesome because it's been really detailed and good information, lots of questions. So thank you, Katie, for taking the time to do this with us. And Katie is doing this on a very discounted basis for ArtsKC to help us help all the arts organizations use their Instagram account to get new audiences. So thank you, Katie. And we will be doing probably based on this session an Instagram 2.0 class sooner than later. So be on the lookout for that. And Katie, I'll chat with you afterwards about what that could possibly look like. So thanks a lot. And thanks to everybody else.
Yeah, and everyone, if you can, come attend my virtual spring swing, which is May 30th and 31st. I decided since we couldn't be in person to go virtual. So I found a platform and there's still going to be live music, food trucks. It's just going to all be virtual and you'll like, the musicians will be playing on the website that the craft fair is virtually taking place on. There'll be 120 vendor booths that you can go in and you can talk to the artists and the makers. There's like a live chat. It's going to be super cool. Kansas City's first virtual craft fair. So it's May 30th and 31st.
That's awesome. I will for sure be there.
I put it on ArtsKC Go yesterday.
That means that it is getting promoted.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Yeah, and remember everybody, post your stuff to artskcgo.com, and it shows up on our social e-newsletters, also shows up on KKFI, KC Studio, artsjoco.org, KC Live Arts, all of our calendar partners. So
Yeah,
thank
for
you
sure.
everyone, and I hope you have a good night.
Thank you all so much. Good to meet you.
Bye.